Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Tuesday, the 27th of August, 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed down 0.2% today to 8,071 points, with the technology sub-index the worst performer, while the energy index was the best. The banks were lower, while the retailers were mixed. As is normal at the moment, much of the action came on the back of profit results. BHP's share price rose more than 1% after it announced a $20 billion profit for the last financial year. Global engineering group Worley's share price rose 3% after reporting a higher profit last financial year. Infection prevention group Nanosonics jumped 23%. Best of the top 200 today. Following the release of its results, jewellery retailer levy tumbled nearly 13% after a trading update disappointed investors despite higher net profit in 2024. Property services business Johns Ling Group fell 27% after a revenue decline in the year ended June 30. And buy now, pay later group Zipco announced cash earnings of $69 million last year. Transactions fell in Australia amid softer consumer spending as it pulled back on lending to more risky borrowers, but turnover surged in the US, where it has almost 4 million customers. Its share price finished down 8%. Story number 2, Woodside Energy says it can pay strong dividends even as it increases spending on low-carbon energy projects and invests in developing new oil and gas fields. The oil and gas producer announced an underlying profit of $1.6 billion US for the 6 months to the end of June on sales that dipped 19%. to $6 billion US. The average price that Woodside received for its oil and gas fell 15% to $62.60 US a barrel. Shares in the oil and gas producer rose 4%, notwithstanding a cut in its dividend. Woodside Chief Executive Meg O'Neill said the company was delivering on its strategy to thrive through the energy transition while maintaining a disciplined capital management approach. She said Woodside's agreement last month to buy a clean ammonia project in Texas positions Woodside to be an early mover in the emerging low-carbon ammonia industry and makes a significant contribution to delivering its Scope 3 targets. Story number 3, Austal is fighting to maintain its standing as a responsible contractor to the US Navy after accepting a $24 million US penalty as part of a plea deal to head off criminal prosecution by US regulators in a fraud investigation. The deal is a result of negotiations with the US Department of Justice and Securities and Exchange Commission, whose investigations focused on alleged fraud between 2013 and 2016 within Austal's US division, according to a report in The Australian. Perth-headquartered Austal has been desperate to ensure any settlement was acceptable to its biggest customers, the US Navy and the Royal Australian Navy. Story number 4, the Victorian government has announced a 7.5% levy on short-stay accommodation bookings, including bookings made through Airbnb and stays from January 1 next year. Treasurer Tim Pallas said the Short Stay Levy Bill 2024 will be introduced into Parliament this week. The tax is expected to raise $60 million a year, with revenue to go to Homes Victoria to support the building and maintenance of social and affordable housing. Homeowners leasing out their primary place of residence for a short stay, hotels, motels and caravan parks will all be exempt from the levy. And story number 5, the share price of PDD Holdings, the parent company of online retailer Temu, tumbled nearly 30% today, cutting the wealth of founder Colin Huang by about $14 billion. It means Huang is now worth just $35 billion US, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. He's now the 4th wealthiest person in China. His reign as the richest person lasted just 2 weeks. Now, anyone with teenagers in the house knows Temu. It's a marketplace for very low-cost items. Its parent, PDD, reported disappointing revenue for the June quarter and conceded its growth trajectory isn't sustainable given the increased competition from competitors like Alibaba. Huang founded PDD in 2015 after launching a few gaming and e-commerce ventures. The former Google engineer quickly ascended the ranks of the world's richest people, with his net worth peaking at about $71.5 billion US in early 2021. He stepped down as PDD's chief executive in 2020 and left the board as chairman in 2021 as Beijing began cracking down on China's tech giants. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 27th of August, 2024. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, TikTok and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.